Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and welcome to Battle of the Beasts New Generation episode number 33. This is the 7th battle in round 2 and this matchup in my opinion is probably the most interesting one. Because out of the two beasts fighting today, it's similar to the sword and shield thing I had in Menux versus Skalix, or technically Skalix versus Menux. So that is similar to that sword and shield thing, apart from it's a slow beast versus an agile beast. And I don't even know which one could win this fight. This is that close. So I'm hoping I don't make the wrong decision here. Because I feel like I have in a previous battle. But I think I mentioned that in the actual video, so when you see it, you know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, let's reveal the oh, this is going to get confusing with the names. Okay, let's reveal the beasts that are going to be fighting today. Representing Series 20 from the Isle of Ghosts, Book number 2, and the Destroyer of Menux, the Saber-Toothed Terror, it's Skalix the Snapping Horror. Yay! And on the other side of the ring, representing Series 21, the Sorcerer's Revenge, and the Destroyer of Vizak, the Slithering Serpent, it is Book number 2 as well, Skrar the Night Scavenger. What? Ah, that actually hurts. That actually hurts. That actually did hurt. Okay, so Skalix versus Skrar. Right. Slow versus Agile. Pink versus red. Or red versus red. Cover wise. Okay, I find it kind of funny that that two beasts of book number 2 from back-to-back seasons are fighting against each other. I don't think I have that anymore in... No, I do. No, I don't. I don't have any more of that in the rest of the round, of the rest of this round, so just get me a special one. Also, I honestly have no idea which one will win this fight. So, yeah. So with the battlefield, I'm thinking of a swampy area for Skalix. And even though I'm aware Skrar is a fire-related beast, he has certain abilities which can evaporate water and also make it really hard for water to even come in contact with him. So I think he'll be alright there. So with that being said,
I am all mystical and Native American-y.
let's get to the stats.
Skalix, the Snapping Horror. Skalix's broad, muscular body is armored with black scales, and his teeth are as sharp as daggers. His tail ends in a great club, spiked with bony knives, making it difficult for a quester to have any line of attack against the monstrous Ankylo beast.
Skrar the Night Scavenger. Skrar is a hulking, muscular beast whose body is coated in spiky white fur that can burst into scorching hot purple flames. If that isn't terrifying enough, his smooth-scaled serpent-like tail can knock his foes unconscious. His awesome stats show he has agility, sharp hooves, sharp snake fangs. The hooves can melt whatever they touch. Can evaporate water. Large amounts do require rest, but he proves to be a cunning foe in the tournament.
3, 2, 1!
Skalix versus Skrar. Let's get into this. So, as Skalix is resting peacefully in the murky swamp, I'm thinking of the swamp in Kaonia, by the way. He senses an uneasy feeling, like he's been watched, and rightfully so, because he's been watched from the distance by Skrar. What Skrar does is that he sticks one of his paws out, or hooves out, to just come in contact with the water. And as soon as he touches that bit of the water, it just starts steaming around him, and the bit of the ground that his hoof was touching as well starts steaming up as well. He lifts up his paw to reveal some water has been evaporated, and there's a hoof print on where he was. Skalix sees the smoke rising and figures he's not alone. So he turns around, lifts up his tail and smashes it into the water, making a big tidal wave splash in which Skrar bursts, Skrar's white spikes burst into flames, burning the bush that he was hiding in. And whilst the water droplets are coming down on top of him, they just evaporate before they even come in contact with him. Skrar then pounds over towards Skalix, being careful not to touch too much water, but it's just evaporating bits of water, making hoof prints wherever he goes, making his way towards Skalix. He jumps and he lands on top of Skalix, which Skalix's shell is getting burnt by Skrar's touch of the hooves, but Skalix doesn't seem to be feeling it. Skalix starts moving around, trying to shake Skrar off. And what Skalix ends up doing is he dives back down into the swamp to where he's completely submerged. The water's coming up towards Skrar, and not wanting to waste his most powerful ability, he decides that what he's going to do is that he's going to jump out of the way and land on a little island, in which he starts looking around for any sign of Skalix. Skalix, however, is just making his way around underwater, and then when he pops up, he pokes his head out. Skrar doesn't seem to notice him, and when Skrar's back is turned, Skalix gets up and snaps directly towards Skrar. Skrar is able to hear the water behind him stir, so he jumps out of the way and scratches with his claw, which scratches one of Skalix's eyes. It makes a burn mark on the scales of his face, and also with the force that Skrar used, it pulled out one of Skalix's eye. Skalix roars roars in pain, turns around, swinging his tail, and just swinging it around like an arc multiple times. Skrar jumps over the first one and sees it coming back again for round two. So what he does is he ducks and bites at the tail to stop its force, but Skalix is using all of his strength where it just pulls Skrar a little bit. And what Skrar does is that he wraps his tail around Skalix's tail, keeping his grip on it with his teeth, and starts pulling at it with all his might, whilst also causing little flames to emerge, just heating up Skalix's, just heating up his bite to burn the inside of Skalix. Skalix is starting to feel the pain, but not wanting to be outmatched, he lifts his tail up to where it just where it's dragging Skrar up, and he slams his tail back into the ground. He swings his tail around, not slams it into the ground, and launches Skrar to the other side of the swamp to where he falls into the water. Steam and bubbles start emerging from the top, and very wet Skrar climbs out of the water, absolutely drenched and furious, just heats up his white spikes and bursts into flames, evaporating the water that's around him. Hardly being able to tell if he's actually been in the water or not. And on the little island he's in, he starts running around in circles, and then after what seems like a couple minutes of doing that, he then immediately jumps towards Skalix, in which Skalix sees it, ready to sail, and swings it towards Skrar. However, Skrar saw that coming, and when he was about to when the tail was about to hit Skrar, Skrar was able to put his hooves on top of the tail, and then use that as extra momentum to jump over on top of Skalix, and what Skrar does now is that he uses his hooves and focuses all his heat on the hooves, burning into the shell to where the shell is becoming a lot softer. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. We're burning into the shell where the shell is starting to become weaker, let's say. And using his hoof, he picks it up and slams it into the back of Skalix's shell. And sees what seems like some flesh for Skalix. And what Skrar does is that he lifts up his hoof again and places it down directly on that flesh, focusing all his heat on it, burning up some of Skalix's flesh. Skalix roars in pain and pushes his front legs off the ground to make Skrar lose balance, but it doesn't seem to be working. So he gets back down, causing a massive thud for Skrar to just lose his balance a bit, but still remain on top of him. And what Skalix does, he just submerges himself underwater again. Skrar jumps out on top of the island, and what Skalix does is that using his tail underwater, he starts swinging at the island's base that's submerged under the water. Skrar feels it, but doesn't know what to do, as the other islands are too far out of the way for him to jump to, and the island starts submerging.
So this island's about to go under.
So preparing himself, what Skrar does is that he he extinguishes all of his flame and waits till he's completely submerged, in which he sees Skalix ready to bite and hit him with his tail, in which Skrar, using all his best swimming ability he can, he dodges the bite and the tail swing, and puts his hooves on wraps his hooves around Skalix's neck, in which he then bursts into flames, so many flames in which the water all over the swamp starts bubbling and steaming. Skalix is roaring in pain as his scales aren't strong enough to defend him from that, and the water all evaporates in the swamp, and Skalix is just steaming. The eye hole which Skalix is missing his eye starts having steam come out of it as well, and it becomes clear to Skrar and Skalix that the blood inside of Skalix is actually evaporating, in which Skalix starts shaking around violently, trying to help get rid of Skrar. He swings his tail around to where he's able to just hit where he's going to hit Skrar, but also risk hitting himself. Skrar sees that, jumps out of the way just for Skalix to hit himself, knocking him to the side, and Skrar, focusing all his firepower on his mouth now, bites down on the top of Skalix's head, where the teeth are going through both in the eye hole and poking through the other eye, in which Skalix is roaring in pain, and using his hooves and using Skrar's hooves, he focuses them on one of Skalix's legs, causing more heat to come in. Skalix is still roaring, still kicking, refusing to die, and Skrar can feel himself getting too tired to carry on. And as a one last resort, what he does is he wraps his tail around Skalix's neck and twists, breaking Skalix's neck. Skalix slumps to the ground in the once filled with water swamp, and Skrar just rests down, trying to regain his strength. So that Skalix has lost and Skrar has won. Now with this, I knew this was going to be a close matchup, as I couldn't tell which beast would win. However, I was actually edging towards Skalix here, because I thought Skalix was going to win. But Skrar did. That caught me off guard. It is the way I narrate the battle, though. So all the battles are narrated on my first attempt, and whatever my first attempt result will be, that'll be the result for the battle. So that means Skrar's going through to round 3, while Skalix is now eliminated. Which also means, like Series 18, with Drogon being eliminated and Soara, with Series 20, all the Series 20 beasts are eliminated. So I have 2 seasons of the new generation of Beast Quest already eliminated. And sorry for that spoiler alert, by the way, but really, they're not. These videos are numbered, so really you should be watching them from part 1 onwards, so you should be up to date with that. But with that being said, that is all for this time. I just got a message from Lucas, by the way. So with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the little notification bell down in the corner below. Join me in the next video, which will be battle number 34, with 2 more beasts waiting to see who can make it through to round 3. Until then, peace out.